Half an hour of crazy facts you didn't know. On one occasion, during a visit to the zoo, boxer Mike Tyson tried to bribe the head of security with $10,000 to let him fight a silverback gorilla just to impress his girlfriend. At Amsterdam Airport, the urinals have fly stickers on them so people can point at the insects and not urinate outside. This man named Robert Simon founded a company called Same Ol Line Dudes, dedicated solely and exclusively to saving seats in waiting lines. He earns approximately $1,000 a week just for doing this. There is a law in the Philippines that requires students to plant a minimum of 10 trees before graduating. Did you know that there are more statues of lions in the world than real lions? This is how fast livestock auctioneers talk in the United States.
Get that way to fulfill is 22293.
Leeches have 32 brains, 2 hearts, 9 pairs of testicles, and can also live up to 27 years. Originally, the humans in Wall-E were going to be a species of shapeless masses. The plan was that at the end of the film, it would be revealed that these were humans who acquired this form after living in space for so long. The idea was scrapped because the design was somewhat grotesque. There is a tiny species of beetle that uses ants as taxis, latching onto worker ants with their mandibles to search for new nesting sites. This video of these kittens boxing was recorded in 1894 and is the oldest recording of a cat. Did you know that if the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs had hit 30 seconds later it would have fallen into the ocean? This would have reduced the force of the impact considerably, and if that had happened, not all the dinosaurs would have become extinct, and humans would never have existed. A night at the Murica Hotel in the Maldives costs $50,000. This luxurious hotel literally sits on the sea. It can accommodate 9 people and its rooms have these views. This interactive gym in Quebec encourages children to stay active by combining technology with physical education classes. Bill Gates, inventor of Microsoft and one of the richest men in the world, has a real-life version of the periodic table of elements in his office. In case you've never seen a bird snore, here's a video of one. On the left you can see the brain of a shark, and on the right, that of a dolphin. This was one of the first orthodontic procedures in history. It was found on a mummy more than 4,000 years old. Did you know that Nintendo Switch video game cartridges are intentionally coated with chemicals that when placed in the mouth leave a terribly bitter taste? This is to prevent children from putting them in their mouths and choking. This is what a toucan skeleton looks like. It's made of keratin, the same material that makes up your nails and hair. Over time, it loses color and becomes the color of bone. This is the size of a giant squid's eyeball. The origin of the logo of the famous Ferrari sports car company was designed from this painting on one of the sides of this plane, belonging to Count Francesco Baracca, a famous elite pilot of the Italian Air Force. This robot, called Velox, from Player Energy Systems, is capable of moving on almost any surface, even swimming in traffic jams. Drivers in Germany pull their vehicles to the side of the road to clear the way for emergency vehicles. Similarly, in this country, when children are involved in a car accident, the police give them teddy bears to calm them down. The mandarin duck is one of the most beautiful animals in the world. Did you know there's a disease that turns people blue? It's called hereditary methemoglobinemia and it's extremely rare. This animation, based on Fritz Hand's painting, shows us what the human body would look like if it were an industry. These old Nike shoes were sold for $437,500. They're called Muse and were the first prototype designed by Nike co-founder Bill Doberman. To date, they're the most expensive shoes ever sold. This is what a castor spider Canta cancriformis looks like, also known as the soldier spider. This is a chimpanzee with alopecia, a genetic disorder that causes hair loss. Because of this, we can appreciate the natural musculature of these animals. This is the closest thing we have to a flying car so far. It's a prototype tested by the Japanese government. They plan to put it on the road by 2030. This is the mammoth camera. It was the largest photographic instrument of the 19th and early 20th centuries. It weighed 640 kilograms and was 4 meters long. It was so large that it required 15 people to operate it. The only photo it took was this stunning panoramic view of the Alton Limited train. This is a 3D animation of what happens to your pupils when they are stimulated by a light source. This mechanism, designed in 1939, was manufactured with pedestrian safety in mind. This type of canvas was extended by pulling a lever from the cab. It could be folded and reused in case it hit someone else. Believe it or not, none of the 3 gears you see now are moving. The only thing moving is the bottom. Did you know that, like the plankton you see on some of the planet's beaches, humans are also bioluminescent? We can't distinguish it because this light is 1,000 times weaker than what our eyes can detect. This is what a wave looks like breaking underwater. This is how 13th century Europeans imagined African animals. These paintings were based on stories told by explorers. Here you can see a representation of a crocodile, a lion, and an elephant. This woman named Margarita lived for 3 centuries. She was born in 1792 and died in 1903. Did you know that for ice cream to be called vanilla ice cream, it must contain the natural essence of the plant? If it doesn't and was made with an artificial flavoring, it must be called vanilla ice cream. Check the packaging the next time you buy one. This packaging machine at the Dutch mayonnaise factory moves so fast and at a uniform speed that it creates this amazing optical illusion. This Egyptian dress, made up of more than 7,000 individual pieces, was found in 1927 inside a tomb in Giza. This sport combines juggling with wrestling. The protagonists must hold onto their instruments while trying to knock them off their opponents. Have you ever wondered why so many country names end in istan? Pakistan, Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, among many others. This is because the word instant means land in Old Persian. Afghanistan is the land of Afghans, Uzbekistan is the land of the Uzbeks, and so on. This is the prototype of a public transportation vehicle that aims to speed up traffic and reduce environmental pollution. Since 2001, absolutely all of the balls used in the Wimbledon Tennis Championships have been reused to make small houses for field mice. Besides being waterproof, they keep them away from predators. A man found this bird preserved in ice. It was in perfect condition, even with its eyes open. How could this be possible? This rare event was made possible by several factors. It's most likely that the bird dove into the icy water to catch a fish. If you've ever seen a video where the water in a bottle freezes when you tap it, this is precisely what happened here. The lake water was likely below freezing when the bird came into contact with it. This triggered the freezing process, encapsulating it within a solid layer of ice. This is how the final battle scene in Avengers Endgame was filmed. This is the size of a hummingbird feather. Here you can see a person without arms winning a game of ping pong against a person who does have arms. This is a frog, Nasicobatrachus sahiadrensis, that lives in India, and I'm sure it's the strangest frog you've ever seen. This is what the Earth looks like compared to the rings of Saturn. Since we're talking about these rings, you'll be amazed to know that they're a truly brief event, right in the middle of their lifespan of approximately 200 million years. If you think about it, we're very lucky as a species. If a dinosaur with a telescope observed Saturn 100 million years ago, it wouldn't have seen any rings. The same thing will happen in 100 million years. Did you know that it's possible to hit an international home run? This map shows us the baseball fields that are close enough to the United States borders with Canada and Mexico to hit the ball into another country. Did you know there are more than 350,000 different species of beetles? This number is increasing, as more are discovered every year. This is how the final rooftop scene in the movie John Wick 3 was filmed. The story of Jack and the Beanstalk was written over 5,000 years ago, Rumpelstiltskin about 4,000 years ago, and Beauty and the Beast about 3,000 years ago. In this video, you can see how a storm hits the world's busiest airport. The green dots are airplanes that with the help of air traffic controllers avoid the clouds and follow the safest route to land. Doctors at a general hospital in China removed a spoon from the esophagus of a 20-year-old patient. The most serious thing is that the object had been inside him for a year. According to what he told the media, he swallowed it during a party to impress his friends. Apparently, it didn't cause him too much discomfort, since he didn't seek medical help until a year later. He went to the hospital when he began to feel severe pain in his chest and difficulty breathing. Did you know that camels can swim? Especially the males, who usually do so in search of food. In this video, you can see two feathers belonging to the same bird. The one on the left belongs to its breast and the one on the right belongs to its wing. The flight feathers located on the wings or tail of a bird are joined by small connections called valves, which give them rigidity and strength when flying. The other feather is soft and has no valves. They serve as insulation against the cold. This is how a woodpecker's tongue works. It grows from its skull. This is the effect atmospheric pressure has on a bag of potato chips. This was the first vehicle made by Porsche. Only 3 were manufactured. It was the experimental car of a small company that years later would become one of the most famous and iconic in the automotive industry. This photograph was taken on the set of the film Tales of Terror. All of these cats you see auditioned to be in the film. This blackboard at Oxford University hasn't been erased since Albert Einstein gave a lecture on relativity in 1931. Grover Krantz, a renowned American anthropologist, donated his body to science on one condition: that his dog always be kept close to him. This is how his remains are displayed today in the Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C. This is a sea coconut nut and is the largest nut species on the planet. There's a website that allows us to test our listening skills. Did you know that we can't hear anything above 18,500 Hz? Did you know that baby sea turtles agree to hatch at the same time? The most developed hatchlings in the nest send signals to the rest of the eggs to accelerate their growth and grow and develop at the same time. This is the reason why all the eggs hatch almost at the same time. This is how impressive and effective a butterfly's camouflage can be. Facebook's blue color is due to the fact that its creator Mark Zuckerberg suffers from color blindness. He chose it because it stands out the most in his vision. Bees breathe through holes on the sides of their bodies, allowing them to work inside the honeycomb for long periods of time. Uy Scuti is the largest star we've discovered so far. It's so large that if it were in the place of our Sun, its surface would reach the orbit of Saturn. This is the largest sinkhole in the world. It's called Xiaoxiang and is located in China. It's also called the Heavenly Pit. The famous intro theme to The X-Files was composed by accident when composer Mark Snow rested his elbow on his synthesizer keyboard with the echo effect on. The producers liked it so much that they decided to keep it. This Chanel No. 5 commercial starring Nicole Kidman is the most expensive commercial ever made, costing a total of $30 million. This WWF campaign shows 4 endangered animals. You've probably noticed that the images are pixelated. This isn't a mistake. Each of the pixels that make up the image of the animal is the number of remaining specimens of the species. Did you know that the Aphrodite of Milos originally had arms? One of them held an apple while the other held her toga. It is rumored that these were broken and lost forever during one of her transfers. In 1745, a woman joined the British Army posing as a man. She managed to keep her gender a secret despite receiving 500 lashes and a shot in the groin. After her service, she revealed her identity and, like the rest of her male comrades, received a military pension. The caretakers at this park in China dress up as pandas to prevent the cubs from becoming accustomed to humans, so that once they are released into the wild they can live safely. Scientists in Germany have developed tattoos that change color depending on the pH and glucose levels in the patient's blood. Perhaps in the future, we'll all have them. The largest hand in history belonged to the tallest man in history. Robert Wadlow's hand measured 32 centimeters from the base to the tip of his middle finger. A French woman nearly had a heart attack when she discovered that the painting that had hung in her hallway for years was valued at €5 million. The artwork was painted by the Italian master Cimabue in the 13th century, and belongs to a collection of 8 pieces inspired by the Passion of Christ. Currently, only 3 have been found. This is what the inside of a bush looks like, only from the outside it is green. A group of activists have joined forces to create the USB flash drives for Freedom campaign. They collect used USB flash drives, format them and fill them with books, movies, and information from the outside world. They smuggle them into North Korea. These tiny crustaceans, called amphipods, are transparent so they can get lost in the ocean and avoid being eaten. This is how the 2019 military parade was celebrated in Chile on the occasion of Army Glory Day. One of the most anticipated moments was the participation of the Carabineers Dog Patrol. Remember the Boston Dynamics robots? The company has decided to put them on sale. You can pre-order one from their website. This is what car seats for children looked like in 1940. This is the largest black hole found to date. It has 66 billion times the mass of our Sun. That dot you see in the middle is our solar system. This device that the waiter just placed on these women's table is the restaurant's menu. It projects 3D images of the food onto the table, so the customer can get an idea of the size, ingredients, and their arrangement. Remember the Simpsons episode where Homer designs a car? Someone created a real-life version. It has all the attachments and accessories Homer designed. The longest a Tamagotchi virtual pet has been alive is 89 days. Did you know that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory has a little-known sequel? This story is titled Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, where Willy Wonka takes the protagonists to space. They talk about aliens, politics, and the elixir of youth. Did you know that some species of bees bite branches when they take a nap? This is so the wind doesn't move them and they can rest comfortably. This is a photo of what is considered the first laptop in history, the Osborne 1. Although as you can see, it wasn't at all portable. It weighed 10 kilograms and had 64 kilobytes of RAM. Did you know that the Japanese national anthem is the shortest in the world? It only has 32 characters. In case you were wondering, there's enough iron on Earth to build 2 million Death Stars. Did you know you can see the planets of our solar system in the sky during the day? You just have to know where to look. Speaking of planets, did you know that for 40 years one of Earth's neighboring planets was named George? Today we know it as Uranus. According to several studies, the happiest song in the world is Mr. Blue Sky, Electric Light Orchestra. This is what a lunar eclipse on Jupiter looks like. It occurs every 42 hours. It's the shadow of the moon Io projected onto the planet's surface. As a curious fact, Jupiter has so many moons that it's possible for 3 lunar eclipses to occur at the same time. This is the oldest pencil in existence. It was found on the roof of a 17th century house and is currently part of Faber-Castell's private collection. Scientists have created a material 10 times darker than Vanta Black, known until a few months ago as the darkest material in the world. Black 3.0 is even darker. Here you can see a photo of one of these scientists holding a basketball painted with this material. The city of Manchester is a pioneer in creating lanes for people using mobile phones. At least they won't disrupt the flow of people in a hurry. This is a waxy monkey tree frog, and although it looks like it's giving itself a massage, it actually spreads an oily secretion all over its body. This secretion prevents moisture loss, protects it from the sun, and also scares away predators because it's highly toxic. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a group of inherited disorders characterized by extremely loose joints and skin. These were the prehistoric versions of the bottles we use today to feed babies. They date back to 1200 BC, and the most impressive thing is that they still have milk residue inside. This is a photograph of the iceberg that sank the Titanic. It was taken the next morning. The Madagascar chameleon is one of the smallest invertebrates in the world. This is how they sharpen pencils in factories before taking them to stores. This is how a katana gets its characteristic curve. Depending on the type of sword and how much curvature is desired, this process of cooling and heating the blade will be repeated several times until it has the proper curvature. And since we're on the subject of samurai, did you know that from a young age, they are taught to defecate this way, with one leg outside their pants? In case they are attacked during this vulnerable moment, doing this will not compromise their mobility, and they will be able to get up and fight. Forget all the depictions of a black hole you've seen in the past. According to NASA, this is the most accurate one yet. Not many remember it, but in 1999, Cartoon Network and Scooby-Doo made a parody of the Blair Witch movie. If you want to see the full video, we'll leave it in the description. This is how cookie cutters work. These hydraulic presses push the malleable metal into a mold with the desired shape. Did you know that mustard helps combat cramps? One hypothesis for why they occur is due to a misinterpretation of the nerves. Mustard and other foods with a strong flavor activate a group of nerve receptors inside your mouth that stimulate and distract your nervous system, deactivating the nerve impulses that cause cramps. The Tom and Jerry cartoon celebrated its 80th anniversary in 2020. To commemorate it, a museum opened in a Tokyo neighborhood. The section of the museum that has attracted the most attention is one that displays all the strange shapes that Tom's body has taken after his failed attempts to catch Jerry. This was the first space exploration without tethers or ropes. The only thing that stood between the astronaut being lost forever in space and returning to his ship were 24 pressurized nitrogen propellants inside this backpack. Did you know that Nickelodeon created a spin-off series of SpongeBob SquarePants called Squidward's Astrology? In these mini-episodes that lasted no more than a minute, Squidward dedicated himself to telling zodiac horoscopes inspired by some of the characters in the series. Video game developers are constantly trying to innovate the market with new virtual reality experiences. This developer created this wasp simulator. There's a purpose to the fact that fruits turn dark over time. When opened, they oxidize as a protective measure. Oxidation slows the growth of bacteria and fungi. This is what the telephone lines in Manhattan, New York looked like in 1887. Although they only lasted 7 years, a snowstorm brought them down in 1894. That's when they came up with the idea that it would be better to install the cables underground. This is Thumbelina, the smallest horse in the world. She weighs 26 kilograms and measures just 43 centimeters. Did you know that only 2 flags in the world are purple? The plumage of the bird on the flag of Dominica is this color, as is the last rainbow stripe on the flag of Nicaragua. I bet you didn't know about the Infinite Cat Project. The goal of this strange website is to collect photos of cats watching other cats watching the website on a monitor. A kind of endless loop of cats watching infinity. So far there are 1823 photos. The most expensive domain in the world is valued at $872 million. With 165,241,241 square kilometers, the Pacific Ocean is larger than the entire Earth's surface. It takes up so much space on our planet that at some points it could burrow down through the planet and you'd still be on the surface. These parasitic fish, known as pearlfish, use the interior of various invertebrate species as shelter. The worst of it is the sea cucumber, as its rectum serves as a refuge for this animal. It is estimated that 80% of the lights we see in the night sky are made up of binary systems, that is, 2 stars. These are so far away from us that they appear to be a single star from our perspective. This is what a 20,000 watt light bulb lights up. This is what one of the animatronic suits used in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie looks like. The leather has shrunk and deteriorated, giving it this creepy appearance. The Corinth Canal in Greece artificially connects the Gulf of Corinth with the Aegean Sea. At its narrowest point, it measures only 25 meters, making it difficult for some ships to pass. This is what a bat fetus looks like. The green shield bug's eggs look like emojis. You probably think smartwatches are a recent invention, but you couldn't be more wrong. In the 1980s, the Japanese brand Seiko launched the Test 001, a distant relative of the Apple Watch. At the time, it was considered the world's smallest television. It even appeared in some films. It worked with a receiver, a kind of antenna that detected frequencies and reproduced them on a 1¼ screen. Did you know that the furniture and decorations on the set used to film the Addams Family scenes were mostly pink and yellow? We didn't realize it because the show was in black and white. In 1938, Walt Disney won the Oscar for Best Original Score for the film Snow White. The Academy presented the award in a special way. They not only presented him with the now famous statuette but also 7 small miniature replicas of the 7 dwarfs. When technology wasn't enough to make large screens, this was one of the solutions. This lens magnified the image. You've probably heard the phrase, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. This is a lie. Although it's not healthy to skip breakfast, this phrase was invented by Kellogg's as an advertising strategy to sell its cereal. Alice Cooper worked as a babysitter in her youth. One of the children he cared for was Keanu Reeves. This artist walked 1,160 kilometers over 56 days to draw Hatsune Miku's face on his GPS app. A tank's silencer is larger than the tank itself. Did you know that if you wake up during REM sleep or deep sleep, you have up to a 90% chance of remembering what you were dreaming? If you wake up during other stages, the chance will be no more than 50%. The world's largest stadium is located in North Korea and has a capacity of 150,000. This is the only existing footage of the Titanic. It was recorded the morning it set sail. If you want to see the full video, we'll leave it in the description. If you're having trouble parallel parking, this short video is sure to help you. Walking increases your problem-solving skills by 60%. Orcas are very intelligent animals. Watch how they swim sideways to hide their dorsal fins and avoid being seen by seals. This is how the glands in the palms of your hands secrete sweat. This species of invertebrate called a Scythian panda skeleton looks like something from Tim Burton's imagination. These are the masks worn by protesters in Hong Kong. Their structure and shape prevent them from being recognized by facial recognition cameras. The world's most expensive phone bill was given to a French woman. The debt was 11,721 billion euros. It was never paid, as just a few days later it was cancelled by the company itself. It turned out to be a mistake. The correct amount was 117 euros and 22 cents. You've probably seen a show with recorded laughter.
Amateur when they met Joey.
What you probably didn't know is that most of these were recorded during the 1940s and 1950s. What you're hearing is the laughter of a bunch of people who have already passed away. Japan recycled 80,000 tons of cell phones and other electronic devices to manufacture 5,000 medals for the Tokyo 2020 Olympic and Paralympic Games. Did you know that a trailer can cause up to 9,600 times more damage to an asphalt road than a passenger vehicle? This is one of the strangest ads we've ever seen. You probably already know where it was made. It's an advertisement for a Japanese coffee brand. In this old video you can see Roland, an elephant seal who lived at the Berlin Zoo during the 1920s. This is a pool table with augmented reality, which projects the ball's trajectory onto the table's surface.